not until the dire circumstances of living in Liberia are improved, activism for change will always continue. Activism is not the same as protagonism or antagonism, but they are just the normal routines of life, so that people in authority will be able to look back and think. And that's it. One may tell that I'm not in Liberia, but I am updated to the circumstances, to everything that is affecting citizenry daily. And so I am emboldened to talk about them because myself, I am affected by those things that are happening. They were happening there, and some of us, we had the, little chances, to flee the area. But they are still continuing and they are still multiplying. So where is the change? Where is the change that we have been yearning for years in and years out? It is questionable of our mentality to keep doing the same thing and then expecting some magic to happen. No. Changes don't happen just like that. You have to fight for a change before it comes to be a reality, and not the other way around. God did not promise to come and dole out, gold coin to everybody. He said, by thy sweat shalt thou eat. And that rule is always present with man. If you need a change, you have to fight for it. You have to talk about it. And so this topic, I'm talking about, it has many, faces. And because I lived there, I know what was going on before I chose to come in the exile, in the diaspora, so to speak. But the realities are always on the ground. No matter a leadership will change, then we are squaring up with the same old thing. So which way Liberians are, going? I chose to express my concern because the leadership here, Donald Trump's leadership, has been saying you cannot be loving America when you don't love your country. Donald Trump said that in his first presidency. He said it. And I have bought that message. And I side with it. It has clear edges. If people who are here, if Liberians were to love their country, we will not be in that scenario. Everybody wants government to do something. Even if they have seen a broken piece of road, they want government to come and act. And people within that neighborhood will not do something to fill the pothole on the street. And that is sickening. That is really sickening. We have to fight for something that we need or something that we want to enjoy. And that is my opening. And what am I talking about? I'm not talking about, political characters. I'm not talking about any other person. But the funny behavior in people That's what I'm going to talk about. And one of those behaviors, when we say physical behaviors, that is not approved by God, but people do that in Liberia. And it is concerning. And let me talk about one of them. First, some people bought land, land property. And for one reason or the other, they are not able to build. Maybe they go in the exile or they go in the diaspora to seek fundings to build. And then some people will go and build on those spots that their friends left behind. And then it can be a fight. And some people can kill other people about that. And it's not fine. Before you build anywhere, ask. Let the surveyor go there and tell you, look, this place has been occupied long time. So go to another place. Liberia has a lot of land. You're not compelled to be in the city. You can go in the outskirts. The outskirts will become the heart of town as people will extend the building. And so some Liberians are emboldened to find free spots to build, and so that it will become a quote, it matters if they win, and then that's it. It's not fine. It's not fine. And people are updating me on those kind of claims. It's not fine. I have people in the land commission, land authority. They speak to me, they say, look, this is what we are experiencing. And I'm not going to call few people from there so that people will not say, oh, you are talking to some people overseas. But it's not fine. It is promoting hatred. It's a way of promoting hatred. Liberians should desist from such practices and corruption. Once a land is sold, you can't get it back in any way. And if a person sold land to another person, if you went back to do a double sale, you become the criminal. Very, very hardcore criminal. And it is plenty in Liberia. But I think the Bouaka government will put it on a foot. If anybody, does a double sale, that is a criminal. That person should be detained in prison for a number of years. When they come from there, then their eyes will clear. Some people are wicked. Some people are just stupid. And people that sold other people's property, that is criminality. I know no law backs that. So we have seen many people in jail for that. But yet, some people will not give up. They say they will be doing that all the time. It's not good. Fairness should be the order of the day in Liberia. Many people are complaining about that. Even myself, I sent my, brothers to go on my spot. And then they say, hey, somebody is occupying. I say, okay, let that person occupy. Even though it will cost me money to go to the court, well, I will get it back. No matter. But what about those people who don't have the hand to get their property back? One woman was telling me that a person took her land and then she never got it back, and she came back to the United States crying. It can happen to me. Those are the reasons why we fought in Liberia. So those things for which we fought, if they are not changing, then those people are bringing, rebellion in the town. And that is one piece of the things I wanted to talk about. Next thing is the question of some religious group, they calling themselves Christians. But these people, they do their liturgy with candle burning incense, and all of these kind of things. That is simplified idolatry. These people are not serving God, and they are prophesying about things that they imagine happening in families, so families are torn apart. Women are stripped naked, men too. But the part that hurts me is when they strip women naked. A woman is sacred. Any part of her body is sacred. No man who is not sleeping with that woman can see any part of her body besides her face or the parts that are exposed. And I have seen that many times on the social media, that they strip women naked. The last time they did that, it was in Maryland, it was in Grand Gita, and it was in Sino. Lately, there is a problem in Sino County because some people were said to have gotten information about a woman who was a witchcraft. They don't have physical proof, but like a church dignitary, that kind of church, they call it Aladora Church. A kind of stupid organization will point people out, falsely accusing them, and then setting up a mob to maltreat people. So in Sino County in the years past, and I get that photo in my phone here. So a young woman is standing nude in the public, and people looking at the woman. So I said, what kind of thing is this? And it is concerning in Liberia, and the government is not talking about it. The political activists are not talking about it. And these are the things that are bringing damnation on that small country. It is blessed, it has all the resources, but it is never progressing. So because of the behavior of some bad people, so blessings that are supposed to flow, they are not ever seen in Liberia. Everybody is crying. Nothing is coming on better. Those things are weird. And that church, we are talking about Christians. Yeah, they are Christians. But to run, prophecies that are baseless or that are based on hatred, imagination, those kind of churches should be closed down, and all their members be punished. To stop that, they did it to one of my cousins right there. She and her man, I will not name them this time, but that is my prime example. And so I wanted to carry that woman to court, but it's still not something that I forgot about. That woman will go to court, who has seen my cousin, bewitching her man. Today they are not together, and they have children that are trapped in the middle. And it is going around, and some people know what I'm talking about. They went to work and accused another relative, my uncle, somebody that bought land for me. So I'm talking about reality. Anything that I don't have concrete proof on, I don't talk about it. So this church thing, it has been going on and on and on and on. And actually, where did this church originate? It's a Nigerian church. It's a Nigerian church. The Aladora Church is a Nigerian church. And so, what do we see in its wake? We are seeing Boko Haram because what they are doing is not productive. And so we are seeing Boko Haram chasing all Christians. And people are saying, hey, Christians are dying, but they are sowing seeds of discord. And I don't want it to be in Liberia. I am going to write to President Trump. I'm in that party. So because he can flood my phone with messages, people in that party, people who are closer to him, they know my name here, Napoleon Toe, because I have been associating with the Republican Party from the beginning, since 2015. So my name is there. So he knows it. Anything that is done, they message me on my phone. It may not be President Trump himself, but the operatives around him, they know me. And so I'm going to write about it and tell him and say, look, we have to cross-examine certain things. If Christians are going to pray to God, worship, and go by the Sermon on the Mount, doing good, giving, good pieces of advice to neighbors, uplifting neighbors, this will not be. But there are some Christians who are doing this divination thing, and it's now it's now in Moravia. So when these things are going on, people don't take notice. But when they get done more and more, and then enemies will come one day and say, look, let's kick these people out. That one, I think, in my own way, I don't know really what is happening, but when things happen, we try to associate, causes, to what is happening. So Christians are not doing anything, and then they feel targeted. I'm from the Christian home. I pray to God, I read the Bible. But what actually is the problem? Is that hatred, or is it just because it is Islamic fundamentalism? But first it has started with Christian fundamentalism. Christian fundamentalism is also bad. That what is happening in Liberia. And there is time that the people of Liberia get to talk about it. Because so many people are getting dissatisfied. So many people are getting angry with that practice. And it has taken foothold in Liberia. Well, I will be talking about it so that everybody can hear it. Today we are talking about Boko Haram hitting the Christians in Nigeria. Tomorrow, we don't know what will happen in Liberia. We don't have problem with our Liberian Christians. Muslims. It is only the Christians that are a problem in Liberia. They corrupt. They want to do homosexual, marriage. As we are seeing, they have overthrown governments. They have, caused chaos, havoc. That's what I mean. We have never seen Muslim people do that in Liberia. They are law-abiding. They sell. They control. They are next to the Lebanese. That's what we know of the Muslims in Liberia. They are business-oriented people. They help one another. When I was going to school there, going to the college there, they helped me. They gave me some money. I was broke that time. They have thrown me out because I wasn't having financial aid. And so time came, I was suspended, going home and crying. And so I went to the Benson Street Mosque. I told the big imam, he didn't go far, please. He said, stand here. After prayer service, he counted it. That time, how much were we paying? It was like $300 per year. So Muslims in Liberia are good. And we are not going to bring any conflict between the Muslims in Liberia and the Christians in Liberia. They have been compatible at all times, and I bear living witness to the fact. The only time we saw them springing into action is when Charles Taylor decided to eliminate them altogether. That's how we saw them resisting. And United Nations have given them credence to protect themselves. And that's when we saw them ever. And some member of us supported them. Because you cannot exterminate a whole tribe. Muslim people were at one time at the leadership, but they loved their business instead of doing political activities. So that's how come I saw a friend today, a friend of mine, personal friend, and he posted something about that. It interested me and I clicked on it. Sal Bosso was at one time a leader of Liberia. And people, I'm not going to tag right now. I will not go there. And because Facebook has made it plain, before you come to be a member of Facebook, you must be 18 years. By 18 years, before you reach your 18th birthday, it means that you have completed high school, so to speak. So mentor wants somebody who will come on the social media to be mature enough. So therefore, if you're mature, if you're a high school graduate, at least, so to speak, you will be able to analyze facts. And this third grade literature or history is in the knowledge base of most educated Liberians. It started that the Mandingo people were leaders on the Green Coast, now what we call Liberia today. And people were on that piece of land before, in the early 19th century, before the pioneers went, the free slaves. Liberia was always inhabited by people, and there was leadership. Nobody can deny it. So that piece of history, that the love of liberty brought us here, it has no basis, but nobody has challenged it. We go with the flow, and that is stupid. And so, like, anybody who thinks the Mandingos are not part of Liberia, that person must have problem. And so I click on my friend's post today. I've been saying it, and he also researched and came up with it. And so, like, we have to think that everybody present, the Mandingos, just as any other tribe, they have been on that ground for a long time. It's because, they are not, our people say they are not anxious for political leadership. What is in political leadership? And the people that we have been listing, they all embezzle that while Liberia cannot get anywhere, the Muslim people to say, no, we are staying back, we are staying out of it. That's how come they push to the stream, to the extremes, and they're doing businesses, and they are viable, they're eating good things. They get money, and they get property. So anybody saying the Mandingos are not Liberian, they are lying. They are lying to themselves. We are not going to go with those kind of flow. But the main topic here is that bunch of people making up the Aladora Church, they have to be careful. They cannot put hatred in Liberia, because what they did to my cousin, so I hate the church. So if in case there was something else, I will be opposing them. If I have seen that woman that trying to demonize my sister, I will shake your hand in peace. You know? So we can't do these things that are upsetting Nigerians now. Aladora Church started over there. But what really is happening, that the Muslims hate them now. That the Boko Haram, so to speak, there is a difference between the Boko Haram and Islam. Two different, things. Two different images. The Boko Haram are the radical group, but they are Islamic. They read the text and then they say, hey, certain things will not happen. Maybe some of them were affected, but as far as I know, they were in Nigeria for a long time. Nigeria is a young country. It's a young country. It is progressive. So when did that begin? And what happened? We have to find the facts. We have to know what is happening over there. But in my own creativity and imagination, I'm seeing some reasons that may have happened. And I'm now cautioning Liberians. We cannot entertain those kind of wicked practices in Liberia. That people who are supposed to go to church and preach, they plain gospel, then they say they saw their friends doing witchcraft. At the end of it, this thing will happen. Fighting will happen. Sectarian violence, as it is in Nigeria, is happening. They know what is happening there. They can solve it. So this kind of thing, because Muslim population is multiplying, so that a moment in time will come, the American people will not be able to contain, the rage everywhere. They will not contain the rage everywhere, and then they will say, hey, we are fed up, because it is their property that is being used. It is their human, population that is being, affected when they do, these kind of, liberation activities. Americans can die. They can expend their resources. So we have to help them too, so that they can't be going on those kind of stupid missions, especially in Africa. We saw what happened in Somalia. Some people died. I watched a movie where they say Black Hawk Down. It's a deadliest something. They shot in the face of an American, boy. He was driving the truck between the houses. And that fighter left from the corner and just shooting in the face. So the last thing he said, I'm not seeing anything. And that video is also present on the social media. So we can't do those things that got other people on edge. We can't do those things in Liberia. The land issue, when somebody is going to buy a land, make sure you go to the land authority. They know where free land is. Buy it. But don't buy a land or don't build on a land that somebody has already bought. And the fact that somebody is not building on his land does not give you permission to build there. It's not possible. In 2022, I went to Washington, D.C. and I was walking in the city, Washington, D.C. I saw vacant lands left and right on any street I was on. You don't build there. People buy land since 1910 or before that time. If they are not ready, there is no statute of limitation on when a person must build or not build. And Liberia is subscribing to American policies. We love America. Put China here, put America here, say, look, how many people want to go to China? Nobody will go there. But when you say, look, how many people want to go to America? Everybody start running on the side. So we get that sentimentality so high that we always want to come to America. And we are not mistaken. In America is where you get all the enjoyment. In America is where you get all the civil liberty. They protect you whether you are a stranger or not. Not in some places. Not in China. Chinese were beating people, beating Liberians during the COVID. And that is xenophobia. But they were also treated in Guinea. Guinea is a big country, and I love the people there. They circle the Chinese people. They say, look, if people can't say anything about what you're doing, we will start taking action on you people. And I love Guinea for that. I love those boys. They put fear in them too. Chinese people are all over the place. They are just like mushroom, but they don't get respect for people in their country. Black people. I saw videos about that. When you go to China, they say, hello, when is the person going to go back? They think you go there to eat their food. They never did anything to help African people. They are in Africa to steal our resources. So like, it's just a conversation tag, but I am very, very embarrassed that Liberians up till now, they have never understood to do the right thing. And it is concerning. If we must have peace in Liberia, the religious group known as Aladora, the Liberian people have to question them, what they believe in. That's the only, church group. It is a cult, in fact. CULT. It is a cult. Religious cult. They calling themselves Christians. They go to work, they pray, and then they are sowing seeds of discord between families. And I just cited a few examples that I have seen that affect my own people. And those things are not entertaining. They are very, 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 very weird. We cannot entertain them in Liberia. And because there lies in their wake confusion, fight, and resistance. I think that why the Christians in Nigeria, I'm assuming, because what they are doing in Liberia is the basis for me to think so. Why would somebody go to work and say, look, your wife is the source of your problems? And they can, push that belief until the other partner can be convinced. This man that I call my uncle, and I'm not going to call his name now. I will come live again during the course of the week. I will call him. A very good man that grew up with members of my family, those who are bigger than me. This man was always simple. Nothing he did to anybody. A very, very productive guy. And that woman he married, the woman is also related to my mom. So they were together. So I used to go to their house. Two of them are related to me. But the Aladora people found way to go between the man and the woman. And now they were telling the woman, they say, look, that man is wish. That man is the source of your problem. And so if you don't get away, you know, your life will spoil. Woman left the house. Later on, people said, look, you and the man have been together for over 40 years. So why he didn't kill you then? That you people have established, you have kids. Is it now that he will kill you? Killing you on what? Before the woman returned to the house. My son spoke to her. I said, look, this thing here is very bizarre. Just recently, this year, for the cursing I'm talking about, I was so angry that I paid money so they can sue that woman. Sue that woman, calling herself church person, and it happened in my own tribal group. Say people from the same town. All of these things I'm talking about, it happened between people from my own town. They know me. If some of them come over the social media and they will see me, I'm talking about it, you know, today. And so those things are not good. And so now I take it to be like everything, everywhere you see private churches, they lighting candles, they burning, you know, incense, and then they are saying they are worshiping God. But they have done so many things that are not setting me well, that are not setting people well. And I saw political activists talking about it too. Activists, not so much that they are political. I saw a girl from Tucson there that is recognized talking about these things. These things are not fair. We can't do them. We don't want to study what is happening in Nigeria. We don't want to study them. Because if anybody does that to my relatives, then anybody that I have, I will tell the person and then will be against, you know, those kind of things. Those kind of, you know, people that call themselves Christian, but they're not doing the right thing. They are not God to determine anything. And in most cases, they are lying to just extract money. They are lying. Especially what I know about. And so we are now going to follow the footsteps of Nigeria. That church is supposed to be expelled out of Liberia. Otherwise, because of what it is doing that is not right, it will be targeted in the future. I want Yega Koluba to be talking about these things and to raise those kind of people. But they are not questioned. And so they are growing. They are growing in number. They are building more churches. They're calling themselves, you know, prophet churches. It's sickening. Very, very sickening. Very, very sickening. And they are dirty to sow seeds of discord between a woman and her husband, and a man and his woman, to put them apart. God says, do not put asunder what has been put together. But what that particular church is doing, it is calling itself Christian church, but it is not. Everybody is seeing the reality. And one day somebody will talk about it again. But right now, nobody is saying anything except those individuals who are affected They are undergoing those kind of things. So we don't want to, follow the footsteps of Nigeria. That church started in Nigeria. I believe it is the cause why there is, the Boko Haram activism in Nigeria. They want to get rid of that particular church. But we are sitting at far, we say, hey, they are persecuting Christians. But what have they done? Maybe because of those things. In my own imagination, they must not be explained. I can be thinking about them because too many people are affected in Liberia. And when they, single out somebody, then some people will go to work and strip that person naked. In many cases, they kill people. They molested some people. They harassed them until they lost the taste of living because of shame. What they have not seen, that's what they prophesied. And then people go to work and execute their hatred. In some place, in one of the counties, around River G, 3 young women, just like in Tucson, they stripped the people naked, those women naked, and the other girl was trying to cover, the front part of her because that is glory God put on woman. Then the other man was fighting the girl to move, her hand from in front of her, so he will be able to be looking at physical pussy. Then they were laughing in the back, in the back, laughing. And it is not fine. It is not human dignity. And that's what they did in Tucson. I saw the video clear. I saw the video clear, and I spoke about those videos. But this is how hatred can spread. Those victims today and people who were molesting them, they are never going to forgive those people, even if they brought millions of dollars. Because the biggest thing that human being can have is self-dignity, the person's self-dignity. If you molest that person to think less of themselves, that is more than, suicide. So why will Liberian people do this, those kind of things? Why must the Constitution that we have, we say religious freedom, but Aladora, tradition is outside the Christian norms, not found in Christian doctrine. We have to deal with those things. These are things Eugene Fankon supposed to be talking about. These are things Yeka Kulba supposed to be talking about. These are things Henry Costa himself supposed to be talking about. Then I will believe that, yes, these children are doing real activism. They are seeking change. But some people are molested. Why some people sit back and laugh? There is not a way for a country to go. There is not a way for the country to go. You don't find them here in the United States. I don't know if they exist. I never see them anywhere. They say it's in California. But it's only they say. Aladora is not a Western religion. It originated in Nigeria. And Nigeria is demonic. The British people gave them education. So in the whole of Africa, there are more educated Nigerians than any part of Africa. And so with that kind of, demonic activity that originated there, it's not telling well. And right now, the name of Nigeria has spoiled. They say, look, these people, they kill Christians. The government support, the killing of Christians. Their name spoiled. I don't care what they do. Until this war is remade, that image, that stigma, it will not erase from Nigeria. People are running away from there. People who are able. Only the poor people in certain areas, because Nigeria is big. This is a country that is over 220 million people. It is the sixth largest population on the face of the earth. But it lost its name right now. Homophobia, xenophobia. Those are the categorization of Nigeria. And nobody can refute those. But at the onset, that Aladora church that sells medicine to people, and I tell you the fact, Liberians go there, sometimes when they are sick, they go there, not to go to hospitals, but they go to consult oracles. Those things are happening in Nigeria. They sell human parts. They eat humans. Somebody who is able to eat placenta is capable of eating human. And my friend, we went to school here in PSU, Portland State University. He said, Napoleon, some villages, some remote villages in certain places, you can't find graveyard. So I said, what are you telling me? He said, true, I'm a Nigerian. So they do those kind of slow D over and over. Then Boko Haram come about. Some kind of, activist group. They are not Muslim, but they just put together. They say, look, what these Christians are doing is very bad. But Christians have been in that country a long time. It is British people that colonized that colonized that area. We were not talking about that a long time. During and after the British occupation of Nigeria, domination of Nigeria, colonial domination of Nigeria. But these are the realities. So it means that someone, somewhere, has been pushing some kind of hatred in the corner that person may have been there right now, like what I'm seeing in Liberia. And then the aftermath is calculating. Because things that they have done can never be forgotten about. This is the sad part of human thinking. If you are doing something, sometimes you see the direct result. But sometimes we are told, the Bible tells us, the sins man commit lives after him. This is what happened. Somebody's crafted thinking has provoked Boko Haram. And we are seeing these kind of things surfacing in Liberia. They are creeping into Liberia. And Castelo warned against these things. But they are happening. And I will not wake up to say, the Aladora Church in Liberia is xenophobic. But they are sowing the seeds of disorder. And it will calculate one day when we are all dead or while we are still in this life. And so it is time. It is said that a thief in time saves 9. It is time that we can correct those churches. If I were in Liberia, that woman that accused my uncle, that accused my cousin, they will be somewhere else. They will be somewhere else. I will push a mentality against them. And this is why perhaps I'm not there. And people think, what I'm not able to do. I'm able to do something because I took action. After the war, after everything failed, and then they were looking for people, young people. I was then 24 years old. We had to get together. Some people, like 80 people, volunteered from the whole Greater Monrovia. Even though EU was paying the money, nobody was willing to go. People who are talking today, like Eugene, Fangon, Costa, I know by that time he could have been more younger, but he was nowhere to be found. And so many of his type, they sat in Monrovia. They said they were not going after rebel. So we, the small children or small people who get time for 24-year-old, we got together and get more members, who are also present in the United States. And then we went, begging people who were holding arms to say, look, put arms down. Sometimes they cook for us, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes we slept on empty stomach. And we did that. And people laid down arms. So we are talking about peace. But how it came about, some people don't know. But my members then know. They know. And Joe Boakai is rewarding all of us. There was an amount of money left that the government did not pay. Joe Boakai said, we are going to get that money. And anytime between now to the end of this month, Joe Boakai directed that money should be paid. We are supposed to pay. But then his finance minister and other people, they did not pay that money. So Joseph Boakai said, under his command, and that is the last order, that money should be paid. So today, if anybody doubting, they can check the bulletin, the executive mansion. NDDC money should be paid. NDDC money should be paid. Work that we did far in the past, more than 20 years since I left that place. But President Boakai says that money should be paid. Anybody that worked, all the people that are alive or dead, if you are dead, your family should get that money back. And I call that real presidency. We have made similar, a demand. The finance minister did not comply. But today, all that blame go on we are. But that is another matter. I'm talking about the disorder that happened. And why am I emboldened to sit down in my corner and eat what I'm supposed to eat and talking about public issue? Because I don't want anybody to go disarmed tomorrow again. It's hard. Some of our men did not survive it. So we who are the survivors, we have to air our view day or night to show our presence of mind that what we did to go and work to take arms from people, nobody should do that again. Nobody should do that again. That's why we are warning people. Do the right thing, because the right thing will always manifest itself. But if you do, crook deals will corrupt you in the long run. That was happening in Nigeria, where that church has originated. Aladora Church. They do divination to incriminate people. That, what is happening? Boko Haram has come in the wake of that criminal church. But they have already, gotten foothold in Liberia. Families are disunited. And it is continuing. Not only in Monrovia, but in the Leeward counties, in Bond County. I will tell a story about Bond County, but not today. In Lofa. And these places, I walked them during disarmament. So, as a 24-year-old, I was already educated. And so, I took notes. I just supposed to publish my history to the world of what I discovered in secret places. Aladora Church is established in Lofa County. But I'm not prepared to talk about it. I was in Vonjama at a certain time for about 4 years, things like that. And I saw their base, the Aladora Church. I'm not ready to explain what somebody told me. I will do that another time. But Aladora Church is a criminal church. It sponsors, hatred. So Liberians should be watchful. So what is happening in Nigeria cannot happen in Liberia. Liberians supposed to be, kind-hearted, to embrace one another. They cannot say the Mandingo people are now citizens of Liberia. Indeed, they are. Those of us that read history, they have been there, just like any other tribe. So we have to watch out. We have to watch out. The double land sale, it must stop. People that are selling people land, they have to be careful. They have to be careful that it will come as a backlash. These are things that can get revenge during the time of, these are the things that can set up, sectarian violence in a country. When these things put together, then a moment in time will come. And then they become a political issue. And then people start killing one another. It happened in our time. We cannot say this enough. We cannot stress the point to any other limit. It happened in our country. Some of us and most people were not alive when the blood shedding things started in Liberia. It was a big organization since in the 40s. And then they have been killing secretly. They call that, how they call it? Oh my God. Boyo. So Boko Haram and Boyo. So we are seeing the difference and similarity that blood they play with. Boyo and Boko Haram. So in a sense, anybody can connect the dots. Boko Haram is on the rise, but Boyo had already been a part of the Liberian institution. When you kill in Liberia, you become man. When you shed the blood of an innocent child or innocent man, you become a man. And that's how Liberians get money. What kind of mentality is that? So it was sustaining, and God brought punishment. And God erased those people. But still, that Boyo thing is still in Liberia. We are still finding dead bodies in Liberian streets. Unknown causes associated with the deaths of people. And when they find out, sometimes they remove organs, from that person. It has been happening. It was happening during Ellen Sirleaf's time. It happened during George Weah's time, and nobody can deny it. And it is now happening. Honor Joseph Boakai. So what is it? These things must stop, so we can't experience bloodbath again. I was saying the Liberian cannot study war anymore because the lessons of war are hard. Lessons of war are hard. And we saw physically that I walked from Monrovia to Todmanburg. You walk, when night comes, you sleep. You sleep. 3 days before I reached Bombay. Some people, like my friend, Marie Harris, he walked from Monrovia to Grand Cru, which is very far. So I asked him, I said, Marie, how were you managing? Were you eating? He said, Napoleon, where will you find food? You drink water. Where will you find food? And that is untold suffering to walk from the capital city to the most leeward county in that kind of abject condition. No food. And so these are pathetic things that are going on. So Liberians supposed to play clean hands. Anything that is decent, do it. If it is not decent, leave it. Aladura Church is the subject matter today. That church should be, should be expelled. It is not a productive church. It is an evil organization. And I will pray the devil that is in it will fall. And those people that are aligning with the devil will fall. Their stomachs will burst. And it has swallowed people's passport. It has sown enough discord. And so for that reason, its destruction is numbered. The days of its destruction is numbered. Every member of it will come to nothing. They will all perish by the Holy Ghost. What's that? And so the two evils, I'm saying now, I'm coming to the end of my video. I talked a little while, more than 40 minutes now. And so it is time for me to conclude the video, so you can get, caught up. Land issues. People should not, sell their relatives' land or any other land that you don't know about. Keep it safe. Don't sell anything that is not belonging to you. Number one, do not say Mandingo people are not part of Liberia. Indeed, they are. They had leadership. And then they turn it over so other people can rule. And so Mandingo people are citizens of Liberia. Anybody who is disputing that person's understanding of Liberian history is not complete. Mandingos have been in Liberia for a long time. A long time. King Salboso. King Salboso. King. And we have a range of kings on that coast. And Salboso happened, he was one of the leading men. He ensured that there was peace. Salboso. They're not, men from Grand Cru. The Mandingo men. So Mandingos are citizens of Liberia. And the last thing, Aladura Church is an evil organization. It originated from Nigeria, where they are trying to level Nigeria down now. But people are talking about Boko Haram. It must be expelled out of Liberia. And those people who are investing in, Boyo executions, blood sacrifices, they must stop. It will not benefit Liberia. Boyo organization in Liberia is thriving on blood. Nobody can hide that. Nobody can hide that. And Boko Haram in Nigeria is executing certain people. So Boyo and Boko, they are from the same household. They must be abolished. And I mean it. And I will push a narrative on it. Boyo organization in Liberia. It has been there for a long time. It has sucked blood. It has killed people. And Liberian people know that Boyo organization cannot be legalized in Liberia. It is evil. It is evil. So brotherly love will make Liberia to go forward. Anything else is sodomic activity. Let's do the right thing. Let's pray together. Let's, reason together. Let's cooperate. Let's assimilate. And let's preach what is good. Napoleon Tony, Oregon. Have a great day.